I'm just saying, that's him across the room, so other than the talk, how is everybody this morning? Oh, there we go. Wonderful, right? Yay! So I'm grateful and thankful to be here with each one of you this morning on this beautiful Sunday morning. It's a beautiful drive when I come up from Phoenix. I love it. Sometimes I listen to music that inspires me. This morning it was Daniel Nahmod and the One Power, if you've ever heard of his CD. So the whole CD brings me here, right to where I'm turning, to come into Cottonwood. So I'm listening to the song and I'm thinking, oh God, thank you. One song he has is, I'm sitting on a gold mine. And I'm like, yes, I'm sitting on a gold mine. Where is it? Oh, it's in that $1 billion lottery that I possibly could win. I don't know. I didn't check it. I'm just saying. And then the CD left and I have Apple Play. So then Karen Drucker came on and she sang the song and my heart just became overwhelmed with gratitude. My heart was filled and then I got all teary-eyed and I'm telling myself, no, you can't cry now. You can't be all red-eyed and teary-eyed and swollen-eyed when you come up here to share the message this morning. So I controlled it, right? Because we can control it. Sometimes it's a little hard, but we can control our emotions and we can get into gratitude. Man, I am so thankful this time of year. It's the last couple of months have been challenging for my family and I, but what we know is that this time of year when we all come together and we celebrate Thanksgiving, right? A time of being thankful for all of the gifts in your lives. My family and I have banded together stronger, being grateful for the challenges that we've had to experience since the end of August. And I'll tell you more about that as we move into the talk. But what we can sometimes lose faith or focus on is, what are you thankful for? Are you looking at what you're missing? Or are you looking at what you already have and being grateful for that message? So we know that Thanksgiving is the busiest time of the year. And we know that people come in, our families come in, or our friends, and we gather, we can volunteer, we help feed the homeless, or whatever that is for us, that when we come together, we are stronger. Would you agree? That when we come together in consciousness and rightful thinking, we are stronger as a community. And it is more than, Thanksgiving is more than a tradition, it's an attitude of gratitude. Right? An attitude of gratitude. And it's this consciousness that is so profound, it can make a difference in our own lives and then make a difference in the world and those lives around us. It's as simple as going to the store and just looking at somebody or the person that's helping you, the cashier or the person that's stocking the shelves and they help you get something down from the shelf, or the cashier takes your money and brings you through, is just to say thank you. Thanks for being here for me. Thanks for providing this for me. Don't look at the cost of everything right now because it's crazy, right? $4.50 for a dozen eggs. I'm like, what? Where have I been the last couple of weeks or whatever this is all going on? And when I go to that place, I think, no, is this serving my higher consciousness? Or thinking that way, does that hold me down into that lower consciousness? Gratitude is one of the most energizing and powerful acts that we have in our lives. It's an act of kindness. It's an act of acceptance. It's an act of love. It's saying, I'm thankful for what I have. I might not have everything that I want. What is that? But I might not have it. But I can be thankful for what I do have. And 13th century Dominion monk Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you ever prayed was thank you, it would be enough. it were suffice, is what actually he said. So why would he say that? You know, what is so powerful about gratitude? What is it that is so powerful or makes it important to practice in our lives? It's a spiritual practice. Gratitude is a spiritual practice. And we get into that practice of accepting what is and being grateful for the tools that we have within us to move forward in our lives, not move beyond it, not even move through it, but move forward, because anything that we experience is coming with us, right? It's how we bring it with us into the future that defines who we are. Would you agree? Yes. So I believe there are 3 reasons. Oh, there's so many reasons, but the 3 I'm going to talk about this morning is why gratitude, thankfulness, and giving is such a powerful practice. So gratitude recognizes that the good in our lives, that we don't have to always see, we don't always have to see the bad. We can see the good, right? We can see the blessings that are in front of us. And it's my hair, you guys. I went curly today. I didn't want to dry it, and it's just keeps pushing up against the mic, and I apologize. Here, let me push it away from my face. Okay, let's try that. Because you guys know I move and talk with my hands. Well, you might not know, and you're not all guys, men and women. All of your spiritual souls. This is better. Okay. It's kind of like this. Never mind. Okay. So just like a child, you know, we often don't see the blessings that are in front of us. It's just kind of like a child, when the child comes in home from school, opens the cupboards and yells, "Mom, there's nothing in the cupboards. There's nothing to eat in this house." And then within a few minutes, the mom comes and finds all the food and the blessings that are actually there in the cupboards and makes something delicious for everybody to eat, right? Well, sometimes as adults, we can do the same thing when we look at our own cupboards, right? When we look in the cupboards of our lives, and there's not enough love, there's not enough joy, there's not enough support, there's not enough success. Isn't it exhausting? Just saying it is exhausting for me. There's not enough money or happiness. When we think our cupboards are bare, we think there's nothing good in our lives. You know, like a loss of a loved one. Sometimes it's hard to see what is good, you know. Sorry, I'm getting to that place. The reality is there is nothing more than there is always more than enough right where you're at. There's always enough. And when we can see that, we can see all the good in our lives. When our cupboards are looking pretty bare, we can go to the store and replenish them, can't we? So too can we replenish the inner cupboards of our lives when we turn to gratitude. Because it all comes from here, doesn't it? It comes from here. If we're having stinking thinking here, we go to here to get the truth of what's real and tangible in our lives that we can practice, you know, and we go here to, and I say here, I'm talking about the Christ within, that place that we trust and know that all is going to be good no matter what the outside circumstances appear to be. And we're thankful. So being grateful, again, is a powerful tool, and why would we want it always in our lives? There was a moment when we had a meeting at my job, and we do it via Zoom because we're all over the place. My vice president is in Florida, and the core of my team is in Tucson, and the rest of us are here in Phoenix, and it's wonderful, right? So we're having this meeting, and they wanted to do an icebreaker, and it was something that was good in your life. And I gotta tell you, the first thing I thought of was, I woke up breathing today, you know, and my coworker, when I shared that with him before the meeting, he said, "Oh, don't do that. Because the way he heard it was I was doom and gloom, you know, and I kind of was, to be honest with you. I was like, well, I woke up. It was just one of those days where I forgot about having gratitude. I forgot to be thankful, right? So we get in the meeting and we do the icebreaker, and I said, you know, and I told that little blip about what I had said to him, and everybody's laughing, you know. And I said, the truth is, I'm just grateful. I have a home, I have my family, I have my friends, I have food on the table to eat. I'm just grateful. And my area vice president said, yeah, you can't use that again for Thanksgiving. You've already used your grateful now. And I said, oh, on the contrary, I can use it every day of my life. See, it went from to doom and gloom to, oh no, I'm grateful, because I went to the Christ within me and found that reason of why I was so happy. Being grateful, sorry, I already read that. We talked about that. In the book of 2 Timothy, chapters 3, 1 through 3, verses 1 through 3, it says that being grateful is the same as being ungrateful is the same as being unholy, unloving, disobedient to your parents, unforgiving, selfish, and abusive. And the reason I'm talking about, you know, I'm talking about all the positives of being grateful, but when we're ungrateful, this is what can happen. It denies, it rejects, it refuses the God, that Christ's presence within us to express through us. It refuses and says, no, you can't be happy. You can't see the flowers that are blooming, or you can't see the changing of the leaves at this time of the year. You don't get to see the drive in and see the snow on the 4 Peaks, or the beauty of the red rocks. It denies you all of that. Well, I don't want that. Do you want that? I don't want that. No. Gratitude renews and transforms our minds to see all the blessings that we have. So if you know anybody, or is someone in your life that is maybe struggling, or they can't see the blessings in their lives, you might want to reach out to them and just say, I am grateful for you today. Man, think about that. If you are in a state where you're not seeing good, and somebody walks up to you and just says, I am grateful for you today. No agenda, no hidden wanting to get a response from them. But if you could just sit back and realize, wow, grateful. I'm really grateful. It helps that person snap out of that thinking, and it helps them come into the present moment. I'm thankful for you. Say that. Turn to your neighbor and say, I am thankful for you.
Thankful for you. And for you.
So did you notice the smiles on everybody? I feel it in the room, right? The smiles on everybody's faces that, oh, well, I'm thankful for you too. And you get into that moment of bliss, just bliss. Gratitude. Gratitude and acknowledge the presence of God is next. Because when we just did all of that, we acknowledge the presence of God in us. We didn't have to say, I acknowledge the presence of God in us. We just got grateful and thankful. And God shined through us, as us, right? We're all children of God. We are born in the image and the likeness of God. Therefore, we are loved. We are thankful. God doesn't see ill will. God doesn't see any of that. God sees us as perfect human, whole human individuals. It is up to us on this planet Earth to be able to express that in the best way that we can. Because let's face it, we're human. We have error thinking, right? We do. It is, but when we acknowledge God, the presence of God in us and through us, anything is possible in our lives. Here's that example. So at the end of August, we lost my Aunt Joyce. AKA Mom, who, for over 38 years, helped me be the absolute best woman I could be. And she showed me unconditional love. She helped me when I needed help raising my daughter. She showed me what it meant to be a businesswoman, and one with pride and elegance and confidence. She showed me what the joy of cooking with love was. And I love to cook. She was the kindest woman I've ever known. And she didn't want anything for it. She just wanted everybody to love each other. She was that example. So I was able, through all of that and all of my Unity teachings and learnings and experiences, when it came that day, when I pulled into the house and the paramedics and fire department was there, and I saw her, I knew she had already gone. And I just rested in that. And I became that strong, powerful, independent, thoughtful thinker. And I was there. And I became the matriarch of the family. And I helped my uncle, I was his partner, 62 years. His best friend. And I helped him get through it. And my family, we rallied together. And I was so, didn't know what I was gonna do because, you know, the cost of rent and everything was going up. This is before my aunt made her housing. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, $2,000 a month in rent was not on my financial budget today, you know, and I was able to move in with my uncle and help him. And my dogs have this beautiful home. And every day I get to see because behind the house, we call it the main house, behind the main house is the cottage, and that's where my daughter and granddaughter live. Really, like, so grateful for the blessings in my life. Through tragedy, there is good. It might not seem like it, but we can always step aside and say, oh, wow, so many blessings. And I'm so grateful for that. And I went to God, you know, I said, here. I had gratitude. I turned to God because it's not been easy. And this week I've been crying a lot. So that's what all this is about. And I don't normally cry when I'm at the police, but well, maybe. But I do get teary-eyed, I know that. But I'm thanking her, just like coming up over the mountains. And when that Karen Drucker song came on, it just reminded me of my aunt, my mom. You know, if you have somebody that is still with you, that exudes kindness, remind them that they are loved and we love you. Remind them that how much they're loved. And if you have somebody that has forgotten their kindness, remind them of the love and the God that is within them, just waiting to be expressed in this world. And appreciate and enjoy what we have in our lives, right? It's so important to acknowledge, to have gratitude, to acknowledge God in all things, because without God, nothing is here, right? And just to be grateful, be happy, you know, take what you're learning and share it with others. And when you do that, when you share with what you love with others, it inspires them. We hope that that's what somebody of you, or not all of you, walk away today with, is that I am inspired to be a better person. I'm inspired to smile at somebody when I leave here. And I'm gonna celebrate that. And when I celebrate that, infinite possibilities come. Prosperity comes, abundance comes. The food that maybe your cupboards are lacking is filled, your cupboards are filled with food. You just sit back and it happens. When I sit back, when I say sit back, it's you can't just sit back and think it's all gonna happen. You've got to actually do the work, inner work to make it happen. But you can just rest assured to know that if you're doing the work, right? If you have gratitude and you're thankful and you acknowledge God and you appreciate it and you're celebrating your life in that manner, all is supplied for you. It already is, but you can see it even more. You can celebrate it even more. With God, all things are possible. Can you say that with me? With God, all things are possible. With God, I am grateful. With God, I am grateful. Doesn't that feel good? So enjoy your season. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the loved ones in your lives. Enjoy that stranger, and we witness their greatness for them if they can't see it. Or just witness their greatness. Just witness it. Then that gives them the opportunity to see it too. Which is a great way for us to move into meditation. So I invite you all to just relax. Oh, close your eyes and allow the presence and power of God to fill your hearts. Acknowledging the truth of who you are, who we are as a whole collectively. Just breathe into that. When we breathe into that, we are saying yes to life. We are acknowledging how grateful, truly grateful we are. We are taking this time right now to be one with God, the Spirit, with the universe, whatever it is that sings to your heart. And we become collectively consciousness of the good. When we take the time to see good in all things, the light shines. We don't focus on what's not good. We focus on what is good. When we do that, we can see a clear path. A clear path to health, to wealth, to joy, to peace, by experiencing the love that is in us. We see that in everyone around us, and we embrace that consciousness of good, embrace that consciousness of gratitude. Know and experience that we are abundantly blessed. That if our cupboards seem bare, we go into our inner cupboard, to our inner Christ consciousness, through that consciousness. And our inner cupboards are filled. Here is where God expresses through us all the love and kindness, thoughtfulness, wisdom. We can forgive. We can forgive all outer circumstances. And we are empowered to live in that state of gratitude. We are empowering ourselves and others to embrace their oneness with God. We came here to live an abundant life because that's what God wants for us. We want peace and love and joy. And our inner cupboards to be filled. That when we close or open our eyes, when we open our eyes, we see we are not lacking. We are abundantly living. Just rest in that, just in the silence for just a moment. Hear the message that God is saying. Express that. Just rest in knowing. In the silence, God is. Bringing our awareness back into this room. We can rest and know in knowing that God is in us, as us, through us, speaking for us. And speaking love. And kindness, joy, and thankfulness, and prosperity, and gratitude. For this, we are thankful and so forever grateful. So it is. Amen.